Hello and welcome back. In this session, we're going to talk about record types. So what are record types and why are they used? Well, record types are used when there's different business processes for an object. For example, if we sell to both the public and trade customers, we may want to capture different information and follow a different sales process for each type of sale. Record types allow us to do that. They allow us to follow separate business processes for each sale. We could customize pick list values for each record type, we could specify the page layouts, and we can even restrict users to only being able to create certain record types. So just to make that clear, let's walk through a bit of an example. I want you to imagine that we sell to both customers directly and to businesses as well. When we sell to customers directly, we don't need as many sales stages as it's very transactional, whereas when we sell to business customers, we have to follow more steps such as tendering, raising an invoice, etc. Record types will allow us to create two sales processes so that we only follow the steps that we need to. So this is when we will create two record types for the opportunity object. We would have the customer sale, so a direct customer sale, and then we'd have a business sale, a B2B sale, and then we could customize each one individually. We could have different sales stages for each, we could have a different path for each, and we could have different page layouts for each, meaning that users would only see the relevant fields and related lists for each type of sale. Let's head into Salesforce and I can show you what I mean. So here we are in Salesforce and we're going to head to the Tesco account. From the Tesco account, we're going to create a couple of opportunities. If we hit new, you can see that we have the option for both B2B opportunity and B2C opportunity. These are both record types that I have created prior to this lesson, so if you're following along, you're not going to see them in your org. But don't worry, because I'll show you how to create a record type once we're done here. Let's create a B2B sale, and we're just going to call this B2B. The amount, we'll just put £1,000 in. Close date, we'll set as today, and then for the stage, we're going to set as prospecting, and we'll just hit save. Now, let's do the same, but let's do it for a B2C record type. So a B2C sale. So we'll click there and we'll just hit next. Here, I'm just going to put B2C. We'll put the close date as the 18th and the stage as prospecting, and I'll put the amount as 2,000 and we'll just hit save. Now you've probably already noticed that there was more fields on the B2C to capture than there was on the B2B, but let's open them up in separate tabs so we could toggle between them. So let's head to the B2B sale opportunity. So if we head here, you can see we have our path, which has all of our values in. And if we go to the details page, you'll see that we're actually collecting a lot less details. So let's have a look at the B2C to compare it. So in the B2C sale opportunity, we can see that we have less values in the path. So we can see that that's different. And we can also see that the page layout is completely different as well. The reason we see these differences is because we're using record types to drive the sales process, which is what we see for the path, and then we're also using the record types to drive the page layouts as well. So let's create one together. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a record type for tenders. So we need to head to setup. And then the first thing we need to do is to create a business process. So I'm just going to type in process here. And you'll see we have lead processes, sales processes, and support processes. We also have a couple of others, but these are the three I want to focus you on. And this feels like a really good time to talk about business processes. So what are business processes? Well, business processes are used to display different pick list values for lead status fields, opportunity stage fields, and case status fields. Lead processes refer to the lead process, sales processes refer to the opportunity process, and support processes refer to the support process. They're really useful if your company follows different business processes depending on the client. You could create multiple business processes that you can use to control what stages or statuses are available. But let's head back into Salesforce now. Because we're working with opportunities, we're going to create a sales process. So we'll just open that up there. Then we're going to create new. From here, we're just going to give it a name. So we're just going to call this tender. And we're just going to give it the description for opportunities that are tenders. and we'll just hit save. Now we can choose what values are going to be available to our users. So just so we can see the difference, I'm just going to remove a couple of these. And we'll just hit save. Now that we've created the sales process, we need to go and create the page layout. So we're going to go to the object manager. We're going to find the opportunity object. We'll open that up, and then we're going to go to page layouts. What we'll do is we'll create a new page layout, and I'm just going to quickly create one so we can see the differences. So I'm just going to choose the opportunity layout, and I'm just going to call this tender, and we'll just hit save. And then I'm just going to make sure that we can actually see the difference. So I'm going to drag the additional information to the top, and that will help us identify that this is a separate page layout. So we'll just make a couple of changes here as well, just so it's really clear to us. So all I'm doing is I'm just making sure that we can see these section headers, and I'll just hit OK, and I'll just hit save. So now we need to create the record type. So if we click on record type here, we can then click new. So you can see we have the B2B and B2C record type, but we're going to click new. If we wanted, we could copy an existing record type, but we're not. We're going to create a new one. So we'll call it tender. We'll go to the sales process and we'll pick the tender sales process. And then for the description, we'll put in 4 tender opportunities. And we're going to set it as active. Now we choose who has access to the record type. We can say which profiles should have access to it. And to do that, we can just either make it available or make it unavailable. If we make it available, we also have the option to set it as a default, but we're just going to leave it as make available. And that means that everyone with these profiles should be able to use this record type. And we'll hit next. Now we need to choose our page layout. So we can choose one page layout for all, or we could actually apply a different page layout depending on the profile. We're just going to hit save, and we're going to leave it as one layout for all. Now, to make sure that we can really see the difference between these record types, we're going to create a path just for the tender opportunity. So we'll go to search, and we're going to type in path. We'll go to path settings, and then we're going to create a new path. From here, we're going to call it tender. And then for the object, we're going to select opportunity. We then need to choose the record type, and we're going to use the tender record type. And then for the pick list, we're going to choose stage. So what we're doing here on the path setup page is we're giving our path a name, we're choosing the object the path is for, the record type that it's for, and the pick list that we want to show in the path. And we'll just hit next. We can then configure any key field. So if we wanted to add a key field, we could easily just add them across just by doing that. And we can easily move them around as well. And we'll just hit save. And you can do that for each stage separately. What you can also do is provide guidance for success. So this is advice that you can give to your users. It could be questions, it could be a step-by-step process. You can include images, you can include hyperlinks, and there's quite a bit that you can do with that. For us, I'm just going to put in test, just so we can see where it is on the page, and we'll hit next. We can then activate our path, and then we can also enable celebrations. And when we enable celebrations, it's just the confetti you see. And we'll put it that we're going to see confetti when it's close to 1. And for the frequency, we're going to set always. So every time we close win an opportunity with this path, we're going to see confetti. And we'll just hit finish. And that's our record type configured. So let's go and try this out and make sure it works. So we're back on the Tesco account. We'll go to opportunities. You can see that we can create a new tender opportunities. We'll hit next. We can already see that the page layout's a little bit different. We're going to call this tender. The close date we'll set as today again, and stage we'll set as prospecting, and we'll just hit save. And then if we open that up, what we'll be able to see is the path as we've seen. We now have this drop down here, which is going to show us any key fields as well as the guidance for success. And if we go to the detail tab, you'll be able to see that our page layout is different as well. So before we finish, let's have a quick recap of record types and business processes. Record types are used when there's different business processes for the same object. They're used to capture different information and follow different procedures. And each record type allows you to configure the business process, the pick list values available to the user, the page layout that should be used with that record type, and who should be able to access that record type or not. Business processes are used to display different pick list values for the lead status field, opportunity stage field, and case status field. Lead processes refer to the lead business process, sales processes refer to the opportunity process, and support processes refer to the support process.